Welcome out with the Finn as I continue building my off-grid cabin. In this episode my plan is to debark the last logs I'll need in my cabin. I have 8 near the pile and 6 still in the forest, so I need to fetch those 6 with the tractor, bring them here next to the pile, debark them and add them to the pile to dry. So come along and see how it goes. Enjoy! Oh boy, it's windy. Now last time I asked you guys about the cabin's location, whether I should build it here in the forest or out there in the opening. And I was thinking that asking you for help would make the decision easier. But it was just the opposite. I get so many good comments on why I should stay in the forest and so many good comments on why I should go to the opening. So I thought that the main factor that I'm considering now is which place has better ground to build the foundations to. So first things first, on this trip I want to go ahead and do some digging in both places, and let's go find out what kind of terrain there is. I now dug relatively deep, so let's do a small test. I read online that if I'm able to get this kind of, like a ball shape out of it, that's not really good. And you can see it stays together. That means that this layer is still really moist and it will frost a lot during the winter. However, it seems like this layer is hard enough so that the supporting beams should not sink any deeper, but frost will affect those a lot. Let's go to the opening and do the same test. Yeah, this is soaking wet, much more wet than on the other spot there. I mean, listen, and you can even see the water on this soil, so that's not really good. Based on these diggings, both places are almost identical. This soil here might be even a little bit more moist compared to the forest there. And now as it's windy, this place has a little bit fewer bugs, but you can see that they found me here as well. So this place doesn't even have less bugs. Still came back here to check the ground, and you can see the sand there is much drier. It's still a little bit wet and I can shape it like this with my hand, but it is so much drier. And now as I dig even deeper, you can hear it's really solid down there. So if I build the cabin here in the forest, I don't have to worry about the foundation sinking to the ground. I just need to protect it carefully against frost. But this layer here on the bottom, this is starting to look already really good. It's a little bit wet, but not too bad, and it's filled with tiny rocks. That's always a good sign. Also, like many people stated in the comments, that it's always easier to make a forest more open than to grow trees on an opening. So right now I think we're sticking with the forest. This structure is starting to get really wobbly. Oh, that helped already. I mean, I'll just go ahead and do this one at a time. It's going to be so much easier. I think I can maybe fit like 2 or 3 logs here, and then I need to start stacking the logs on top of the second layer. And always remember, safety first. Alright, let's start debarking. I have 14 logs in total left to debark. After that I should have all the logs that I will need in the whole cabin belt. One log takes approximately an hour to move around, debark and add to the pile. And I have 8 logs now here close to the camp, and I have still 6 logs laying around in the forest. So let's try if we could get all these 14 debarked during this trip. Alright, that's one done. Let's continue pulling on these logs. Yes, now I got the first layer done. And now this way I should be able to pull the logs here, debark them and just roll them over on top of these planks and have a second layer up here. In total I'm going to still add 12 logs on top of this pile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are covered by the planks. So I should be able to get 12 on top of these planks. I'll just have a small snack break now and continue still debarking today. I really wish I could finish all these logs on this trip so that in the future trips I could just focus on building the foundations for the outhouse, for the mini cabin and for the main cabin, and build the outhouse itself. Because I have been discussing with one company here in Finland about getting one of their smaller pre-built cabins here on this property, and that would be in the end of June already. So before that I should have built the foundation for the mini cabin, but it would be great to have that already here and start building the foundation also for the main cabin, and then in the end of the summer I could already start building the main cabin and stacking up those logs. That's done. Let's get back to work. I'm already used to this, but what was really weird for me in the beginning is that this has 3 different sticks for gears. This one, you decide whether to go forward or backward. With this one you select the gear, first, second, third and fourth. And with this one you select the speed. So you can go high, medium or low. For example, now I'm going to put the second gear when I start moving. I have it on medium speed and I'll just go backwards like this. And I can go forward like this without switching the gear. That is so genius. And as somebody who didn't have tractors around when I was a kid, I really enjoy learning this stuff now. And actually, fun fact, Valtra tractors are mainly made in Finland, especially the ones that we have here. Oh, and I nearly forgot to tell you that the main sponsor of this whole log cabin build is HK Hirsityökalut. They have sponsored me this debarking machine that I've used on all these logs to debark them. So check them out. Let's see if I'm able to push this on top of the pile. And yes! Oh. Yes, I got it on there! That is so nice, and it was surprisingly easy. Run out of gas. I mean, I have tried to run this debarker machine with higher RPMs because many people are commenting on the videos that chainsaws really like running on higher RPMs. So now as I'm having higher RPMs in the debarking machine, I think I can do something like 2 logs, maybe 1.5 logs, and then I need to refuel, whereas previously I got 3 logs debarked with 1 tank of gas in the chainsaw. But if it's better for the chainsaw, I think I should run it on higher RPMs. Don't you dare to drop. One more log added to the pile. You can see how I left this one crazy tall because the stump part right here is really bent. The electric winch only has 60% of battery left, and I plan to use this tomorrow the whole day. So I need to put this to charge. It is not charging. I don't know. Let's try that again. And now it charges! And I figured the more I do today, the less I have to do tomorrow. So let's still debug this one. Alright, I think that's enough for today. Need to close this up because it should start raining during the night. %92%. Alright, I am way past my dinner time, so let's make some food. Now would you look at that? Now that's done. Let's hope that the weather is not too bad and it's not raining too much tomorrow. But I'm going to sleep, so see you guys in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning. Yuck. But I mean, not too bad, it's just drizzling, not heavy rain. Still not going to be very enjoyable working in rain. It's going to be so difficult. You just have the discipline to go out from a hot, nice tent with the rain to work for a full day. That's done. Now, because oatmeal doesn't keep my hunger away for too long, I think that adding some protein to my breakfast here allows me to just work longer before lunch. Oh, I need to check if I can fly my drone when it's raining. So yeah, the drone I have, DJI Neo 2, is not waterproof and should not be flown in rain. So no drone footage until the rain stops. Alright, it's currently about 8 AM. We have 9 logs to debark. Let's see how many we'll get done today. Oh, it's also a bit chilly out here, only +7. My hands are just freezing because everything I touch here is completely wet, and now my gloves are soaking wet as well. But thankfully, this chainsaw has hand warmers, so at least when I'm debarking, my hands will be nice and warm. going for a while so the engine can warm up. To be honest, I like working here in the rain much more than when it was 20 degrees and sunny on last episode. Because when it's cold, you can just remove one shirt if you're getting too hot and you will be colder. And if you get cold, you can just put it back on. When it's hot, you can't escape that. But it really is cold. I kind of suspected that. Let's try a different method. Oh no! Sorry, I forgot you under there. I was suspecting water to make that slippery, but it seems like now that the rope is wet, it has a lot more grip. So now I have debarked 8 logs already on this trip, which means that I don't have any logs laying around near the camp. The last 6 that I have to debark are still in the forest, but I'll just have a quick lunch break and then go pull all the logs here. I'll just make this super easy and quick lunch, heating up some liver casserole. Would you look at that? This is the kind of food that some Finns love and some hate. Let's go pick up those logs. Thankfully, if I remember correctly, I left them in spots where they are easy to pick up, because I pulled each log away from the place where I felled them. So this should be a rather quick job. I can't exactly remember where I had all of these logs. One here, and that's 2. That's number 4. Number 5 was somewhere there. But I can't find the number 6. Thankfully I have everything videotaped. I have to go back and check the episode where I said how many I still left here in the forest. Freaking YouTubers having ads on their videos. This one here, I have a total of 6 logs still in the forest. Oh shoot, I really said that 6 logs here in the forest. Well, let's go ahead and pull these ones. Maybe I'll see it somewhere, and if I don't, I have to just take the drone with me and fly that around here. That's one done. Still has so many branches up. I need to go and cut those. Thing is that last time I drove on this area of the property, there was still frost in the ground. Now all the frost has melted and the ground is not that dry yet, which makes it a bit sketchy to drive through some places. But thankfully there hasn't been anything like too deep or too wet yet. Only 2 logs left. Oh yes, I finally remembered where the 6th log is. Right there. Oh man, let's see if we can get out of here. I went so deep. Thankfully this has both a 4-wheel drive and then this locking mechanism, so it locks all wheels, so all 4 wheels will spin equally. I think I need to reverse out of here. What? Oh, we are on a stump! Oh shoot, we are on a stump. I think I just have to send it. Ooh. Imagine if we got stuck on the last log. Oh, I need to go check out that. So I drove through here a few times. Every time I went through there, it just got deeper and deeper. So this is what I meant by it. Now that there is no frost here, everything is soaking wet and everything is soft. So I think the bottom of the tractor was staying on top of this. And as you see, the wheels were just spinning empty. That is so deep. But thankfully we got through that. I'm not going to drive through here anymore. And that right there was the last log that I had laying around in the forest. So now I have all the logs left to debark here right next to my camp. 4 right there, so I can easily pull them right here next to the pile, and 2 right there that I can easily pull here as well. Now I just need to cut all these to the correct length and debark them. Just double checking to make sure. Yes, these are 8.5 meters. Now that is done. It was a lot of work, but I've finished debarking all the logs to my log cabin. At least I hope so. But this just feels so unreal. So unreal. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 31, 32, 33 and 34 long logs in total. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 29 and 30 short logs. So in total that's 49 trees. 49 trees that I have felled, removed the branches, transported here and debarked. And it's only episode 8, but now I have all the logs I need for the cabin here, ready to be used, drying up, and it just feels amazing. I mean, it just feels amazing. Oh no, it started raining rather heavily. It is a nasty weather outside, but let's turn on the sauna because I've been sweating it the whole day and now it's cold outside. I don't want to get sick. The sauna will take some time, so let's go ahead and do some planning on the cabin location. So I came to the conclusion that after all, I'm going to build the cabin here in the forest. The soil here is better for building compared to the opening. Also, there weren't even less bugs out on the open compared to the forest. Then again, what many of you also commented on my previous episode is that it is so much quicker and easier to make a forest open. Whereas if I want to grow trees on that opening, it will take years, probably like 40 years to get trees this large. So let's do some measurements in this lovely weather. Alright, so after doing a few measurements, I know for sure that I'm going to place the main cabin here on this little open area. I got a little bit wet from standing in the rain, so I need to turn on the stove here to get my clothes dry and get myself warm. Oh, this is nice. Some hot chocolate and the hot stove heating me up. Now, while I'm waiting for the sauna to warm up, let's go ahead and read some of your comments from the previous episode. A lot of you were commenting about forest fires, that the opening would be much safer, but forest fires really aren't that big of a threat here in Finland for cabins. The forests in Finland are so well managed and the dry summer times are relatively short that a forest fire really isn't a big threat for the cabin. Even if I build the cabin here in the forest, I will take out all the smaller trees, etc. that will catch on fire much easier around the cabin, spruces, etc. and leave the pine trees that are high and tall, their branches are tall, so in the case of a forest fire, the fire wouldn't spread quickly. Also, many people here saying that the space in the opening would be better for building in the future. But like I said, if I build in the forest and I need to build something new, I can just cut down the trees and put it there. At William Muths, looks great. Can you please explain what type of log cabin are you building? I'm going to build, I think it's notched cabin. It's a very traditional Scandinavian way of building log cabins. So to the bottom of each log I'm going to make a small round notch which will lay on top of the previous log, and then I'll make a notch on the whole length of the log to the bottom where I can add insulation and then put it on place so that it perfectly aligns with the lower log. I'm going to lift the logs with an attachment that comes to the back of the tractor, and the size, well, the logs what I have are 8.5 meter long, the taller one, and 5 meters long, the shorter ones. I have half a meter of extra in those logs, and then I have to take into account how much I want the log to come out of the wall and the thickness of the wall, etc. So the interior space will be something around 7 meters times 3.5, maybe 4 meters. Oh, would you look at that? That's done. Tomorrow is an exciting day. I will know something really important relating to the cabin, but I'll tell you more about it in the morning. I'm going to sleep now, so good night. Well, good morning. Lovely weather otherwise, but once again it's drizzly. So like I said, today is an important day for the log cabin build in general. After I finished my breakfast, I need to start packing up and drive to the nearest public road, where I meet up with a guy from the town who will state that where the road to this property comes from. Because every property forest like this in Finland does have a road access or a legal route where you can build a road if you want, even if it goes through like other properties. Because the thing with this land is that the previous owner who sold this, he wanted to keep one part of the property, and that's the part where the road previously comes to. So now, as this is separated from his property, this is considered as like a new property, and they have to state where the road comes to this new property. But it's going to be really important for the log cabin build in general, just knowing where can I get here, because the road currently that I'm driving on is in really bad condition. But anyways, I'll keep you guys updated on that. Now that's done. This way it shouldn't collect water, it should just glide off. I need to go now, and let's hope that we'll get a good spot for the road. But can't really believe that I got all these debarked, which means that no more debarking. So I'm really hyped about next time, because I can finally start building the outhouse, the foundations, maybe the road, everything. It's going to be exciting and new. Enough with the debarking. Now, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and remember to subscribe so you won't miss my upcoming videos. But otherwise, thank you for watching and see you on our next adventure.